Hey you guys, it's Monica and welcome back to Perry 6 Designs. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these really easy alcohol ink mugs. So this is just a mug from the Dollar Tree. They're $1. You can find them where they keep all the ceramic wares in the store. And so I went ahead and I have it on my turner. The only prep work that I did is that I removed the sticker off the bottom, and then right now I am just I have a paper towel just coated in some 91% isopropyl alcohol, and I'm making sure I take off any oils or any dust or anything like that that may be on the cup from the outside of the cup. So I'm gonna go ahead and start spinning my cup. I like to spin my cups clockwise. My turner acts a little funny when I spin it counterclockwise, so I like to spin my cups clockwise. It doesn't really matter what direction you spin your cup, whatever works on your turner, as long as it's spinning in a circular motion. So again, using my Alumilite's Amazing Clear Cast Resin, I'm gonna just go ahead and start putting it on the cup. So you wanna make sure you're getting good even coverage over the whole length of the cup. I didn't do the bottom of this cup, so you won't see me putting epoxy on the bottom of this cup, but just going around the cup and the handle as well. I did do the handle. So you want to make sure you get an even layer, and you're not necessarily looking for a very thin layer. You want a thick enough layer that when you start putting the heat gun on it and it gets thin, you won't have like gaps in epoxy. So you do want to make sure that it's thick enough to get a nice even coat on the whole cup, but also can withstand, the amount of heat you're going to put on the cup when it starts to thin out. And again, make sure you get that same level of coating on your handle as well. So once you get everything nice and evenly coated on your cup, I just let mine spin for about 3 minutes, just letting everything even out. And now you're gonna get your alcohol inks out. I'm using the Ranger, I believe is the brand. Yeah, the Ranger alcohol inks. You can just pick them up at Michael's. They come in a 3-pack. If you have a local craft store, you can also buy them individually. So there's no rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this. I knew I wanted kind of something like an ombre, but I ended up not worrying about it being ombre like I did with my tiles. I'll link that video below as well. But I knew I did want to leave some white space at the top of the cup. So that was my only goal and when I placed these alcohol inks. And I know you guys, it looks crazy right now, but when you start applying the heat, it'll start, moving and melting together and flowing. So now you just want to get your alcohol inks on the cup, and really you're going to let the heat do the rest. And you're never really gonna know how your cup is gonna look when you start placing the alcohol inks until you put the heat on it. So you can try to be very meticulous about where you're placing, you know, the alcohol ink down and everything, but it's gonna react how it's gonna react to the heat, and that's really what you're gonna play to when it comes to design. So I got my heat gun out, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start applying the heat to the cup, warming up that epoxy, starting to let that epoxy flow, which is gonna make the alcohol ink flow. And you guys, this part takes time. So I started mine out on low heat because you don't want to burn the epoxy. That's something you don't want to do because it'll cause really bad fumes and everything. So you'll see it start to, you know, get thin and start to move a little bit. So like I said, start slow, start on low heat. Don't immediately start blasting it, but start on a nice low heat setting, you know, moving the heat away from the cup and then bringing it back, you know, watching the alcohol ink and the epoxy flow. And I'm just taking a paper towel and making sure I keep that bottom rim clean because I had some alcohol ink that had drifted down there and I didn't coat the bottom in epoxy. So you can see it started to flow some, but not as much. So I turned it up the high heat now that I was comfortable with how everything was going. And I'm gonna just start blasting it on high heat to really get it moving now. And again, putting the heat on, taking it off, making sure you're not burning it. It's giving the epoxy a chance to flow because you don't want it to get too thin. And so something that I like to do is I like to, you know, blow it from one direction and then flip my gun and blow it from the other direction like you see me doing here, because that creates a different pattern. It doesn't have it all flowing one way, but kind of makes it the alcohol ink reverse direction. It's still gonna like flow in the direction that the cup is turning, but it kind of helps give the alcohol, it pushes the alcohol ink in the opposite direction and then helps it start flowing. So it gives it a different look than if you were to just blow it in one direction. And so there's some gaps you can see throughout the cup. So I'm just gonna go back in and start touching it up with the alcohol inks wherever I see necessary, just picking up the colors at random and just dropping them in there. And again, just blasting it with the heat gun, helping it move a little bit. And that's it, you guys. If you're satisfied with how this looks and you don't think it needs any more ink or anything, you just let it spin. I let mine spin for 6 hours and I let it cure for a full 24. And because I'm never just satisfied, like I said, it looks really cool how they are, don't get me wrong, but I just wanted it to have just a little something more. So I went ahead and I cut out a little tea time decal because I'm a tea drinker, I'm not a coffee drinker. And that's how it looks right here, you guys. So I just cut out this little tea time decal, words in gold, and that is how you make an alcohol ink cup, you guys. It's so easy, and you can use the same methodology for Tumbler. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.